Good day, everybody. Hope you're holding up well. It is Thursday, February 5th. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. It's your host, Rod. Your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. We'll give it a half a minute for people to jump on. All right, I see we have quite a few people rolling in. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Let's get things kicked off. It is bloody out there today. And the video that I made yesterday, I said, is it time to load the boat? Is it time to go full send on XRP and on crypto? And I said in that video yesterday that I don't believe so. I said I'm slowly adding, I'm buying, but I do think we're going to see another leg down, perhaps another 10 to 20%. And that's exactly what we've been seeing so far here today. Hello, Duncan. Welcome, welcome. So we'll jump right into it. We did hit 121 USD on XRP. I've been calling for many, many weeks now that we could see as low as 116. People thought I was crazy. I thought it was even kind of crazy for a little bit, but you know, at the end of the day, when we look at the chart, when we do technical analysis, when we do charting, it's not about what we want or think should happen or could happen. It's just utilizing different pattern signals indicators and looking at the most likely scenario and then mixing the fundamentals as well, macro, things that are happening, geopolitical, you bet, like all that stuff, right? That all has to be factored into the thesis and the overall lay of the land, right? So we'll discuss all of that and more in this video here today. If anybody has any questions, ticker requests, please let me know. We'll jump into the members first. So if anybody in the PAL Group private community in Slack, if you just go in the chat room, use that same thread, I'll get to those first. And if there's any YouTube members, we'll get to those second. And then if time permits, then we'll do just the regular YouTube viewers as well. But as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell anything based on anything that I'm doing, anything that I say, or anything that I write about. You can also like the video, share it, subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos. I've been warning about this price action and crash that was more than likely going to be coming for about 3 weeks now. So if you subscribe and you tick the bell, you'll be notified on the next price warning, whether it be to the downside or to the upside. And you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. And as I said, I'm a huge buyer of XRP at the moment. But if you go over to my YouTube channel, just go to videos, scroll down. It's going to take you a minute because I've been screaming from the rooftops for a while now saying that we were going to see some downside. So this was from over 3 weeks ago. Hedera, more downside ahead, major price warning signal. Then 2 videos later, major XRP price warning. This was on January 10th, folks. So let's look at the calendar here. I posted that video on January 10th. That's almost 4 weeks. So that Saturday, it'll be 4 weeks ago, a whole month that I posted that video. And it's only got 554 views. If you could go back in time and watch this video almost 4 weeks ago, and I was saying that it was 116 USD is the target, like how much is this video worth? You almost can't even put a price tag on it, right? Like that's essentially a crystal ball looking into the future. So how in the hell does it only have 554 views? That should be 554 million views because you can make money when the price goes down as well, you know, right? So in my opinion, that's why 99% of people are broke and don't make money in the stock market is because they're not subscribing to channels that actually help them, right? They're following like Watcher Guru and they're getting a notification whenever Bitcoin falls past 60,000. Oh, Bitcoin just came in, it's at 66,000. But why would you want to know after it happened? Wouldn't you want to know before? Don't you think you could create a lot more wealth and make a lot more money on the upside, a lot more money on the downside? How much is that worth? I think it's worth a lot more than 554 views. And then, to top that all off, right after that, I said, is Bitcoin going to $60,000? That was literally the next day. And I said, there's a weekly bear flag. If we lose 80,000, we're going to 60. And here we are. We're in the 60s today. And then scroll up. I just shorted this crypto. This was a little over 2 weeks ago. It was XMR when it was over 700. We just hit into the 300s. And then I talked about XRP. Was that the bottom? No, I said in that video it wasn't. Then a couple of videos later, about 5 videos later, I said I went short on XRP. So, and then as of the last few days, I've closed all my shorts and I've been buying. I'm flipped long at this point. And then, like I said, that video yesterday, is it time to go all in, full send mode? I said, no, I'm buying slowly, but I don't think it's fully time to go in. And as the thumbnail of this video suggests, that time that I was talking about is here now. So the time has come. If you're looking to make money when the price goes down, I recommend BTCC. It's the sponsor of today's video. There'll be a link in the description in the comment section. Why should you sign up? So many benefits. Look at your screen here. 10% bonus on your first time deposit, up to 40% lower trading fees with my link. No KYC, no VPN. You can set it up in less than 2 minutes. Trusted for over 14 years, never been hacked. Over 350 plus cryptos. They even have tokenized FX, tokenized stocks, so you can short MicroStrategy on there. You can trade Tesla. You can trade Amazon. You can use up to 500x leverage. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about it. It was a little glitchy there this morning, and there was a little bit of a just high frequency, basically whenever things like this get crazy. It's not just that, it's Binance even goes down, right? The biggest exchange in the world. So yeah, like I said, I've been making an absolute killing shorting, but I'm all out of my shorts, and I'm actually adding to XRP in my trading account. And yeah, if you want to make money when the price goes down, that's a possibility as well, and you can do so using the link in the description. So check that out. And yeah, it's bloody. It's really, really bloody out there at the moment. We just hit 121, and it looks like a double bottom now. So this, we could see a little bit more downside from here, but I think it's limited. I think somewhere around that, I've been calling for a while now, somewhere around that $1.20 to $1 area on XRP is more than likely going to act as a floor. Who knows? Maybe we see a flush of $1, but we are weekly oversold at the moment. On the monthly time frame, we're not monthly oversold, but we are getting close to the most oversold in history. That's on Coinbase. Let's take a look at the overall history. So this goes back to, actually, that's only going back to 2017 here. Let me think. Bitfinex has the full history. XRP price index. Hang on a second here. No. Why isn't that showing up? XRP, was it liquidity or liquid index? I think that's what it is. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, we got back all the way to 2014 now. Okay. So let's look at the monthly time frame. What is going on here? Still saying monthly over bought? Oh, that's not the right one. Anyways, something going on there. Something weird. There's some glitching going on stock charts yesterday as well. So just a weird time. But yeah, let's go back to, I don't know, which capital. This one should go back to, anyway, 2017. It's never been more oversold in history. I don't know why it's not going past there. Usually, yeah, there we go. I don't know what was going on there last time, but yeah, this is going back all the way to 2013. There we go. So this will tell us we are, yeah, we're right on the most oversold on the monthly time frame in history. So if that's any indicator, I don't know what is, but yeah, that's a huge one in and of itself. One thing I was going to bring up here as well. No, I can't remember now. That completely slipped my mind. I was going to bring up another chart, and now I forget. Sorry about that, folks. Too many things going on a day like today. Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe it'll come to me again here in just a moment. But not looking good. It had something to do with when I was switching the chart there. Anyways, moving on. So at this point, we mentioned, oh, that's what it was. Perfect. I was going to mention the Bitcoin fractal. So let me reset this and log out. So those blue bars there, that is Bitcoin's inception. So you can see here the beginning part and then the end part. That's essentially Bitcoin's early, like from when it was first created in inception to like essentially today. And if you overlay that on the XRP chart, you can see it's pretty damn similar. Like that first run up and then major crash on Bitcoin, very similar to this. And then we rallied into a second wave, new all-time highs, and then consolidated. Look how similar it is. And here we are breaking out again. and it's saying somewhere around that $9 to $11 is very possible over the next few months, like into May. And I've been calling for the blow off top sometime in May, sell in May and go away. Even Raoul Pal has said M2 money supply, the business cycle has been extended a year. It's no longer 4 years, it's 5 years, because the debt got rolled back and pushed out a year in the US, right? So the debt ceiling. So that increased the business cycle by about a year. So he said around calendar Q2 of 2026, folks, that puts us into the next few months and the blow off top. And markets don't end in fear, they end in euphoria. And there'll be tons of people telling you that this is a bear market. It's not a bear market yet, in my opinion. Bitcoin at 60,000 is a bear market. Okay, then. Bitcoin has pulled back 40 or 50% many times in a bull market and continue higher. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to go higher than all-time high. I think the top is more than likely in, but you're going to see a relief rally, more than likely a dead cat bounce on Bitcoin, and then that's going to be when alts go absolutely bananas over the next few months. And I think there's a good chance that we get clarity. But if not, I mentioned in yesterday's video, if we don't get the Clarity Act passed this year, XRP is the only one with legal clarity. So we have the winning asset no matter what. And if they do, and all these stablecoin yield issues that Coinbase is talking about, well, guess what? Ripple's a bank. So like I said, it doesn't matter how you slice it. Ripple and XRP are going to walk away as huge beneficiaries and winners. But as you can see, very, very similar. And then if you take the fib level and you unadjust it for log scale, you can see the 3.618 is around that $11 mark, which makes perfect sense. I think that's I think $8 to $10 is very, very doable this cycle, like easily, almost as just a complete slam dunk and layup at this point. And then on the high end, I think most likely scenario is somewhere around that $14 to $16 level, and then on the high end, maybe we see 20 or 30 bucks. But I'm not expecting it to go much higher than that this cycle. But you have to remember that this Bitcoin fractal, Bitcoin wasn't the bastard child. In fact, it was the poster child. It was the only child, right? It was the only game in town. So if you have the mass marketing machine, every single exchange always promoting Bitcoin and Ethereum, well, what does that tell you about these fractals and XRP? Well, XRP is probably going to have more explosive moves, and because it's being manipulated for so long, right? In fact, it's the opposite. Not only is Bitcoin the mass marketing machine, it's been the opposite with XRP. It's been the mass marketing doom machine, if you will. Like they've just been calling it a shitcoin since inception, even though it was created by original Bitcoin developers to be a better Bitcoin. And with all the news that came out over the weekend, seems like we were right and picked the right winning asset once again. So at this point, I know it's brutal out there. We'll take a look at the broader market, but in terms of crypto here today, we are down. And this is why I sold XXRP, the 2 Korean leveraged ETF, and I bought just the regular spot ETF, which is XRPQ. And today I did add to HBR, the Canary ETF, in my TFSA, so my tax-free savings account in Canada. We get an extra $7,000 this year. So I think I'm at like 40 or 50% of that has been allocated to that contribution room so far. I did add a little bit of the XRP ETF, XRPQ. And today I most recently added HBR. So we hit cosmic oversold today on HBR on the POW algo alerts. And if that's not a buying signal, I don't know what is. So once we get cosmic oversold algo alert, I was like, okay, yep, this is probably one of the most oversold in history. I'm buying. Buy when there's blood in the streets. But yeah, XXRP, 2 Korean 2x long daily ETF, leverage ETF. This thing in 2 months is down almost 80%. I told people this is not something you want to hold long term. It's a daily trade basis and it resets every day. You do not want to hold this long term. And then I had some people talking about dividends and stuff. I'm like, okay, so you're going to get the dividend that you're going to get is going to make up for an 80% correction in 2 months? I don't think so. And that's if you even get the dividend. So yeah, I said be very, very careful. As you can see, leading the bear list today and XMR. So I remember that video I showed you earlier. I said I just went short. This was the coin I was talking about. It was literally the same setup as Zcash. Basically exploded, went to 800, pulled back to 300. It was literally the same playbook. And we had the ascending triangle, and then you just take your measured move there, and it was saying somewhere around that little over 700. We hit 799.89. I went short at like 710, and then it pulled back 61%. And again, I just went short at the bull target because you have a big move up, bull target is reached, well, probably going to reverse and go the other way. And then sure enough, here we are getting close to weekly oversold now. And we had hidden bearish RSI divergence as well, lower highs, lower lows on the RSI, and higher lows, higher highs on the price. That tells you eventually something's going to start to give, and you're more than likely going to see a pretty sizable correction. That's exactly what we've seen, and it could not have been any more obvious. Any green on the list today? Nope, not a single one. All right, let's take a look at the indices here. Then we'll jump into ticker requests. So I got two more buy orders on XRP. I have one open at 129, one open at 119, and another one open at 109. That's pretty much all I'm going to do. And that's in my trading account. My long-term account, I haven't bought or sold in that one. My average is 40 cents. I haven't sold anything yet. If you haven't seen my XRP video, just go to my channel, click search, type in exit XRP. It'll be the first video. And that's my first take profit is $4. We didn't hit $4. I didn't take any profit yet. So my plan still remains the same. And I mentioned as well, silver is going to see a huge pullback. And I don't know how much hate for that. And again, it's not what I want to happen. What I think is going to happen is just what the chart was saying. And we have a bear flag target at $53 now. And we almost confirmed it. So it's all about 71. If we lose 71, that confirms the bear flag. And the target is 53. Right? Just go from the high to low, move it to your 0.382. There you go, 53. We're not yet daily oversold, meaning we could go even lower from here. But I think this will be good once we see silver find a bottom and the rest of the market fear go away. Then I think you're going to start to see rotation into crypto from these precious metals and specifically into utility-based coins. Imagine the ones that actually do something are the ones that are valuable. Whoa. Stop the press. But yeah, silver taking it on the chin today, down over 13%, and not looking good. SPY, so daily consolidation, we're right on that support level again. But folks, the S&P 500 is more than likely going to be entering a bear market. Like, it's probably starting now. Over the next few months, it's going to get really bad. This is from a percentage basis, this is probably going to be one of the worst market crashes in history. But what I need to see to be completely sure is a loss of the monthly uptrend, which we're no longer close to even doing. And not even that, I need to see a monthly downtrend confirm. Just like in February, in 2021, in February-ish, we formed a lower high and then a lower low, and we confirmed a monthly downtrend. The S&P 500 pulled back almost 30%. It was like 27%. But then it went on another face-ripping rally and went up another 100%. And as I've been saying on this channel for a while now, it was a daily bull flag, and we're targeting 704. We got pretty darn close. We got to 690, just under 698. Yeah, we got 697.84. So, we're splitting hairs here at this point. It came within less than 1% away. So sometimes it undershoots, sometimes it overshoots. Folks, 700 on SPY has been believed by many for many decades that it would hit that. I've been saying that it would hit that more than likely this cycle, and here we are. We pretty much hit it. Maybe we go to 710, maybe we go to 750. I can't see it going much higher than that. I'm almost 100% out of the stock market, aside from my altcoins and my MJ stocks that I'm long in. And it's not a huge position on my MJ stocks. It's just a very small amount. Even if my MJ stocks lost 99% of my value, I wouldn't care because it's like not even 5% of my net worth, right? Crypto, huge hit to my net worth recently, but I'm still nowhere near my average on XRP at 40 cents, right? We're sitting at $1.20, still way above my average at 40 cents, right? So just don't say you weren't warned. Just like I warned you 3-4 weeks ago that the market was going to crash in crypto, I'm giving you like a probably 6 month to a year heads up that in probably 6 to 12 months from now, you're going to see articles on your screen, on the news websites saying this is the worst market crash in history, or it's going to be tying one of the Great Depression in 1929, right? But what they won't tell you is that the price is way higher still than it was in 1929. So you're probably going to see at least a 40-50% correction on SPY. So where would that put us if that is our local top or our longer term top? If we were to pull back 40%, that'd put us in the 400s. Well, we were just at 200 in March 2020. Okay, so if it pulls back 50%, we're still at 350, which from the low there of March 2020, if we go to 350, that's still 62% higher. How much is the S&P average per year? 12 to 14%. So we're still on the average return even after a 50% correction. You feel me? So this is why you need to understand markets. This is why you need to understand bubbles. Bubbles aren't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that it's not sustainable, and then the irrational exuberance, and things get overextended to the upside, and things get overextended to the downside. That's why we use oversold and overbought and different other indicators, etc. But looking at the S&P, right? How much have we gone up since March 2020 to the high here? It's up 220%, folks. So in 6 years, we're up 220%. That doesn't sound right to me, right? Because what is okay, are we in a bubble or are we not? Okay, well, if we weren't in a bubble, what did I just say? The average return of the S&P 5, we'll just say 15% to be just conservative, or to be modest. So we'll times that by 6. So 6 years times the average of return of 15%, there should only be a 90% gain. Folks, we're up 220%. So what does that tell you? If it's only a 90% gain, the real fair value should we should only be somewhere around 400 on SPY. But we're double that. That means this is a bubble, and that we're probably going to come back down to that intrinsic value and to the average, right? The bigger the boom, the bigger the bust. The bigger the bull market, the bigger the bear market. And believe me, you need to be cautious. You need to be selective. I would be running far, far away. I'd be running for the hills when it comes to big tech. Bitcoin, run for the hills. Even Ethereum, Solana, run for the hills. There's certain utility-based altcoins, right? Like XRP, XLM, HBAR, Algo. There's quite a few. I think even Litecoin will do well. But, the time is running out, and the time is here, in my opinion. Not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. This isn't financial advice. This is entertainment purposes only. But the time to load up on altcoins is now. And I'm pretty much, my whole trading account, I'm like 90% money deployed into XRP at this point. I'm not even looking at anything else. It's just XRP. And I do think that XRP will see a massive bounce soon, and maybe even price discovery into new all-time highs over the next couple of months. So, and regardless if the Clarity Act passes or not, XRP is the only one in the US with legal clarity, something that Bitcoin and Ethereum don't even have. In terms of individual names on the day today, we've got Uber, Apple, and XRPN. And on the bear list, we have VVPR, MSTR, and Coin. Also, I posted a video on VVPR the other day saying we had a bear flag target of 110 on the weekly time frame and a descending triangle. Why did I know that? Because it's very similar to XRP. It's a treasury asset of XRP. They invested in Ripple, so they're very correlated to the crypto market. XRP was a weekly descending triangle and bear flag. That's what I assumed would be on VVPR, knowing all of what I just said. And then sure enough, I went to VVPR, weekly bear flag and descending triangle, and look at the target, 110. Today we're at 128. So either I'm the biggest bullshitter of life, I can see into the future, or technical analysis and charting actually works if you know how to use it. Imagine that. So again, folks, it couldn't have been more obvious. Coin, I had a bear flag target of 170. We overshot that. MSTR, I said, holy shit, this is the biggest short of life. I said $90 is the target. I even thought it was kind of crazy, but again, weekly bear flag. Lower. It wasn't even a weekly bear flag. It was a very weak bear flag. And we didn't even get to the 0.382 fib. We barely even got above the 0.236. And again, all that means is you just bounced 23% or recovered about 23% of that dump. If you go to the 0.382 fib, it's just 38.2%. If you go to the 0.5, it's just 50% retraced of that dump. It's very simple stuff. But as you can see, MSTR and Bitmine, MicroStrategy and Bitmine are now down like 12 billion collectively paper loss. It's not looking good. But yeah, that's targeting $90. MJ on the day today, holding up well, all things considered, but NEVI, PLTH, and AVCN leading the bull list today. And on the bear list, we have CVSI, ACB, and AYR and Tilray. But most names only down around 3 or 4% on average today, so overall not holding up too bad. All right, so jumping into the POW Group community, POW Group private community here. I'm just checking to see if there was any news. Colorado governor is pushing back against his own state's position supporting federal gun ban for MJ users or consumers. Elite scientists admit AI now does most of their thinking. Tom Lee's Bitmine hits 7-month stock low as Ethereum paper losses reach 8 billion. How Vietnamese users choose crypto exchanges. Well, that's pretty much it. MJ Herald, new one just came in. New York regulators approved 36 new adult use MJ licenses. So as you can see, it's a one-stop shop as well in the Power Group private community. When MJ News comes in, it gets filtered like MJ Moment, MJ Herald, MJ Now, MJ Biz Daily. There's like dozens of publishers in here, so you'll never have to check another news website ever again, and you'll get notifications, push notifications as soon as they come in. So you get real-time notifications. You'll never have to search another news article again. Oh, is there news out? Nope. You just come right into the Power Group private community. If you're looking for MJ News, go to the MJ News channel. If you're looking for commodity news, go to commodity. It all gets separated. Same thing with crypto. So it's a one-stop shop. We even have AI built in here, so you can ask AI questions, and tons of different channels as well, specific to trading or investing, crypto, MJ, AI, quantum, etc. But yeah, let's take a look at Bitmine here, because we had so not only was there a bear flag on MSTR, look at BMNR. Okay, so if most crypto is bear flags and strategy had a bear flag, what are we going to expect when we bring up BMNR, so Bitmine? Same thing. We're going to look for a weekly bear flag. So sure enough, we had a very weak bounce. Actually, this one was a bull trap, and it wicked to the 0.5, which we've been seeing a lot. It'll wick, bull trap, and then you get the real move. So what I've been liking to do lately is not go short at the 0.32 fib. I like to wait until it gets closer to the 0.5. See that bull trap, maximize your profits. So if you would have went short at the 0.32 fib, that's about a short opportunity of around 60%. But if you waited to the 0.5, you're going to squeeze out another 5% or so, right? So love that for us. And then, yeah, you go from the high to the low, move it out to your 0.32 fib, and the measured move is 1376. Here we are at 18. So if anybody was bullish on the crypto space or any of these names in the stock market, I don't know what to tell you. You were thinking out of emotions and not logic, data, and reason. All right, so we jump into the ticker request. So this is essentially what we do for Power Group private community members. I come on here, I do a live stream, I do a market update, and then I do ticker requests just like in here. So we got a couple of requests here from members. We'll jump into those next. We'll do YouTube members, and if we have time, we'll do just regular public YouTube members as well. I see we got DeYoung in the house, YouTube member. Hello, hello. And looks like you've been a member for, I think that says 6 months. So thank you very much for supporting. We'll jump to yours here. If you have any requests, DeYoung, just let me know. DeYoung, I guess it's pronounced. DeYoungs. All right, so we jump into the first Power Group private community member ticker request. Jatinder would like to take a look at coin. Looking to trade. Okay, are you looking to go long? Are you looking to go short? Is it a day trade, micro scalp, swing trade? Let me know if you're listening, Jatinder. But yeah, as I said, we were targeting 170, and then I mentioned to you that 150 would be the next support. We have a price level there at 142. So we're right on 150 now. It's so far holding. If we do lose and see follow through into the 148s, like I said, we have price support there at 142. After that, there's nothing until 114 and 100 psychological. So yeah, there's been Coinbase was mentioned in some files that came out over the last week, and that's probably why it's getting hit the hardest. But yeah, I always knew that Coinbase was a... Anyway, I need to be careful what I say, but I always knew that it was a chosen one by the people who run a certain planet. But yeah, I mean, control the on and off ramps, right? That's, you essentially control the whole ecosystem. So yeah, not looking good, and we're heavily oversold here. We're almost into the single digits on the RSI on the daily time frame. Monthly, this got to be the most... Yeah, we're not as monthly oversold as we've been, but that once it IPO'd, right? And then, you know, all the VCs, the angel investors, the early investors before the IPO get in, it goes public, and then they sell it off, and crashed at 92%. But from the all-time low to where we are today, we're still up 385%, right? So when in doubt, zoom out. Yeah, you didn't tell me if you're looking to trade it long or not, but I'd be careful. We could still see a monthly MA 12 and 26 bear cross. The weekly time frame, we already hit the weekly bear flag target, so It's more than likely due for a bounce soon. And we do have historical price coming at 142. So if I were you and if I was looking to trade it, I'd be looking long and, maybe scale a little bit in now. So let's say you're going to invest $1,000 in this for a trade, not invest, sorry. You're going to allocate about $1,000 to do a trade. You're going to swing it. I would probably do like maybe if you got $1,000, maybe do like 500 now, maybe 250 closer to 130, and then another 250 closer to 110. It all depends on how much allocation of capital as well, and how much risk you're incurring, and are you going to use leverage? All those things factor into it, right? But yeah, look at the daily time frame. This is key. So you might be saying to yourself, when are we going to bounce? This has been ridiculous. It's how many days in a row where we just continue to slide? It's 15 days, trading days in a row, so not factoring in weekends. 15 trading days. So who cares about what we think is going to happen? Why not just wait for confirmation? So you have a clear pattern here on this chart. For 15 trading days, we have yet to break to a previous day high. We had a small episode here where we hit 213.56 and we broke the high, went to 214.39, but ended up being a daily bear flag and a weekly bear flag. But essentially, we didn't even really bounce much. Got $1 above the previous day high, wasn't even a full dollar. So we'll just consider that a wash. So we're 15 days in a row. So what should be your little light bulb going off in your head right now? The second we break the high of the previous daily candle, expect a big move. Why? Because we have no resistance for 15 days. Well, we have one resistance. We have the high of the previous day. And then once that breaks, a 15 trading day pattern breaks, and you're more than likely going to see a move up to these EMAs back to around 193. So let's say into tomorrow we form a daily inside bar, and then the day after that we break the high of tomorrow the following day, then the daily bounce is underway. That's when I would go long if it were me. I'd be looking to play it a little bit more conservative, and then your stop loss would be the low of this dump, right? And then your target would either be the EMA 12 or EMA 26. So, let's say in theory we started an inside bar tomorrow and we broke the high of the day today tomorrow, and our low is set at 149. I'd set my stop at around 147, 148. Again, depends on how much capital allocation you're doing. If you're investing, or if you're putting in less capital, you can allow a little bit more wiggle room, right? If you're doing 100 grand on this trade, well, maybe you're only going to risk $1, right? Maybe $1 below the low. So then we start the bounce. Okay, you enter if we break 165, and then your target is around 190, right? So essentially, you're risking about 10% to make 20 to 30. That's a great risk to reward trade, right? So hopefully that helps. We'll take a look here on the weekly macros. Yeah, we had the bearish triple thunder as well. Algo alert was money. And we lost all of our weekly moving averages, so that's why this sell-off is accelerated. And then on the daily time frame, we lost all our daily moving averages. And look, we just had a death cross back when the price was at 236. So if you exited there on that death cross, that would have saved you almost $100 a downside. So, but look how extended we are away from our daily moving averages and our weekly moving averages. Generally, we gravitate back towards them. We get extended to the downside. We come back, test it as support, resistance, support, go again. Then we get extended to the upside, come down, test it as resistance, extend it to the downside, and we ebb and flow and we gravitate back towards it. So if we were to come back up and kiss the 50-day moving average, that's around 239, right? So there's going to be a big bounce coming soon, and it's probably going to be in relation to the Clarity Act gaining momentum, if I had to guess. And who knows, maybe we get some sort of announcement, no tax on cryptos or American cryptos, who knows. Tilray, please. We are now getting a lot of bullish divergence on the 1 hour at least. Chris says, I'm looking to make my first ever entry into crypto looking at XRP. Yeah, so I've been buying XRP all morning. I just bought it. My last purchase was 129. I've got another one at 119 and another one at 109. I don't think you can go wrong at all here. And so, for example, Chris, that's actually a perfect example. So you were talking about Tilray and how it's been brutal. You have an average of around just under $9. You know, it's been 4 or 5 years of brutal bear market. This is This is terrible. I'm so tired of this. Okay, well, you're buying XRP for the first time. Well, there's tons of people who feel like you feel with Tilray about XRP right now, because they bought XRP at $2. They bought it at $3, right? They have a much higher average than what it is now. XRP from its high in July is now down 66%. So there's a lot of people who are underwater who are thinking about selling and panic selling and hating XRP, thinking it's the worst investment ever and what a piece of crap, the market's rigged, blah, 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 right? But on the other side of the coin, no pun intended, you're looking to buy for the first time. So you're happy as old shit, right? So there's always somebody's situation being different, right? There's people turning 18 every day, people turning legal age to start investing, people getting money. People usually don't get money until they invest until they're like 20s, right? So there's new people that are just finding out about these assets every day, that are just starting to invest, and they're probably just foaming at the mouth. So there's opportunity is what don't let yesterday's mistakes or mess ups rob you of and blind you of tomorrow's opportunities or today's opportunities, right? So yeah, same thing there, but yeah, I don't think you can go wrong entering on XRP at these levels. In terms of Tilray, I've been saying, oh frick, I don't even know. It's so long ago since I warned. Let me scroll down. So Tilray Death Cross target was $6. That was 8 days ago. And in that video, here, let me just click on it, and it's probably going to do an ad or something. No, okay. So let me go. The price was at $8.42 when I made this video, and I made it on January 27th. So a little over a week ago. And I said the target was $6.22. So now we'll look at the chart. You can see we've been breaking to daily lower lows. And we actually confirmed another daily bear flag today. So we have another one here. You can see it was a very weak bounce. So we have two daily bear flags within, like one within another one. And look at the same target. So yeah, I'd be shocked if we didn't get to 622 at this point now. And we're not yet daily oversold, meaning we could see more downside from here. So again, we can hate the sector, we can hate the stock. But at the end of the day, there's nobody hitting the buy or sell button but us. So what can we do differently next time? Because you know there's going to be a next time. You know, there's definitely going to be a next time where things crater 80 to 90%. Look at silver. It was down 39% in one day. And people told me that there's no way in hell silver would correct 20, 30%. And it did 39% in one day. So, yes, it will happen again. And JP Morgan has been fined billions of dollars for manipulating the price of gold and silver. So if they're doing it to precious metals, literally God's money, and the first ever money that was basically ever created, well, what do you think they're going to do to Schedule 1 drugs that are illegal at the federal level? It's manipulation going to be rampant, right? And then same thing with crypto. So, and they did the same thing with .com, with the Internet of Information, right? With the Amazons, they crashed it 95%. And it took 2 years for Amazon to find a bottom. And they weren't selling Schedule 1 illegal drugs at the federal level, right? So you can expect it to be even worse for MJ. So again, the problem with this, most people, is they come into MJ stocks and they're so green, right? No pun intended. They've never bought a stock in their life. They don't even know what a limit buy order is. They don't know what a stop loss is. They don't know what anything is. They don't know how to read a chart. They just look at the daily time frame. They look at the last week or so. They don't know what a reverse split is. All of these things. They don't know if the company's profitable, not profitable. Like, you don't know how like the market works in general. You get eaten alive. And if you're coming into MJ and you're buying stock, like if this is your first time buying stocks for the first time and you're coming into MJ or crypto, you're going to get eaten alive. It's hard enough to make money on like Amazon these days, or Tesla, or Apple, let alone getting into the most manipulated sectors on the planet and the most riskiest sectors on the planet. So, like, I think you mentioned yesterday about somebody in the Power Group private community, I think it was Carter, who said, I'm looking into options, and you said you should paper trade options for at least 6 months. That same mentality and recommendation should be applied to crypto and MJ as well. Before you put in any meaningful capital, you should paper trade first for a couple of months, maybe even 6 months. You know, and the fact of the matter is when most people come into the stock market, they don't want to buy when prices are low. That if they see the prices are low, Tilray's at an all-time low, they're like, oh, something's wrong here. Something must be wrong, must be going bankrupt, must be uninvestable is the word I'm getting a lot now. So, but people feel good about an asset when it's going up, but that's generally when you should be selling, right? So it's just most people have it the complete wrong way around, and they come into MJ and they're so passionate about it. I get it. But the fact of the matter is we're dealing with a bunch of stoners here too, right? They're not necessarily the most high IQ people. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just calling a spade here. That's one thing I love about crypto is, I see a lot of people coming into crypto. They're new to crypto, but they're very well versed in the financial world. They know stock market. They know how rigged the game is. They know how financial markets work, and that does wonders for them, right? But I've never seen anybody get slaughtered as much coming into MJs because people don't know, right? They don't know any better. So yeah, it's not looking good. And I mentioned in this video as well that it was the death cross loading. So let's see if it's already occurred. It hasn't happened yet, but it's basically happening now. So the 50 days at 9:15 and the 200s at 9:05. So we're 10 pennies away. It's basically happening now, but any day now. And then, yeah, there's a good chance that our bottom is pretty close to being in. And like I said, it's more than likely going to be the DOJ coming out over the next couple of weeks. I would say, over the next month or two, they'll probably come out, get rescheduling moving along. Then there'll be a month or two worth of challenges and lawsuits, etc. And then that'll probably put us into the summertime. What did they say they want to do by summertime? A descheduling commission. Do you think they're going to create a descheduling commission and then announce that descheduling commission before they rescheduled? And do you think they're going to want to go into the midterms not having rescheduled after saying that was one of their achievements? Doesn't sound like the most likely scenario to me. So I'm going to buy and I'm going to hold. So if you're looking at Tilray, I know it's brutal, but at the end of the day, you need before you buy any meaningful amount of an MJ stock, you need to invest at least 100 hours worth of research into how traditional finance works and stocks work first. 100 hours just on that. And then another 100 hours learning MJ stocks, right? So you need 200 hours. Most people spend 2 minutes, or they watch a 20-minute YouTube video and they're like, oh, I'm an expert. Right? So that's not how it works, right? All right. But yeah, not looking good, probably heading lower. Sorry, went off on a bit of a tangent, but I know some people are pretty pissed off at the moment. XLM hit Cosmic oversold as well. So Jam, take a look at XLM, no problem. So XLM's target is 10 cents. Its weekly bear flag. And again, you just take your measured move there. You go from the high to the low, move it out to your 0.32 fib. And I think that one was a 2-week bear flag, actually. Yep. So 10 cents could be the bottom there on XLM. And this one was a descending triangle as well. And that makes sense because it's very similar to XRP. They move pretty much in tandem. I'm just getting rid of some of these things here, so just get as many touches as possible. And the real candle bodies as well, so I draw it there. It just broke out way faster. But yeah, we'll take our measured move, and it's right around that same 9 cents. So by that logic, we could see another 20 to 30% of downside, potentially. And we're not yet oversold on some of our... What are we at? We just hit weekly oversold. But yeah, bottom's likely getting close. And XLM usually follows XRP, so it's not surprising to see XRP at its target first, and then XLM act as a little bit of a laggard. All right, yeah, still a lot of work to do there. We lost all our weekly moving averages. Yeah, and the death cross on this one happened back in second week of November when the price is at 30 cents. So yeah, not looking good, unfortunately. Monthly time frame, very close, just like coin, to seeing a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. XRP nowhere near, so I doubt that's going to happen. Actually, this is on Coinbase. Let's go back to this one here. Yeah, it's still pretty far away. I would say it's probably going to fight that off and avoid it, and then we'll break to a new all-time high. They'll tighten up because they're still so far away, right? Like they're still like 12% away. And based on how beaten, like anything's possible. It's not that it say that it can't happen. I just don't see that as the most likely scenario. What I would anticipate is that we're more than likely going to break into new price discovery, all-time highs. These will tighten up, and then you'll get the cross into like the end of 2026 once we start the bear market. And everybody has a different like version of what a bear market is. Like basically a bear market in like the S&P 500 is if you see a drop of like 10% or more, that's basically considered a bear market. Well, how many times has crypto pulled back 40, 50% in a bull market? Look at this. So this right here on Bitcoin on the run up to 2018, it pulled back 74%, then it ran, then it broke into new price discovery, pulled back 86%, and then it went into new all-time highs. And then this was that was the 2014 rally. This is the 2018. So 2018 bear market into 2019 was an 82% correction. And then look here, this one here, we pulled back 55, then we pulled back 76, but we continued into new all-time highs. And you can even just draw like a trend line there. Just a really basic one. And you can see we're losing it. So that's not a great sign. Powell algo alert just went off. Circle just had a major sell signal just go off. And also monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame, you can see we had hidden bearish RSI divergence. Higher lows and higher highs on the price. Lower highs, lower lows on the RSI. Generally, that means something's got to give, and then it's going to top out and go to oversold. And that's the trajectory that we're on. So again, how are we in a bear market on Bitcoin at $65,000? That just doesn't make any sense to me. We're only down from all-time highs. What is going on here? Oh, hit caps lock by accident. Whoops. We're only down 50%. Historically, Bitcoin in bear markets, like I would say 2021 was a bear market for Bitcoin. You know, we pulled back like what, 70 some percent, I said 75%. That was the FTX debacle, right? Solana went to like $8. That was a bear market for sure. But I mean, it was a mini bear market considering the low of the previous bear market was all the way down at 3,000 and we only pulled back to 15, right? And like, I remember everybody freaking out then, and here we are at 65,000 and it seems people are freaking out even more. I'm like, we're still over 300% higher than the FTX implosion. And how the hell you say that that's a brutal bear market? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, no, you can easily pull back 30, 40, 50% in a bull market. But I do think that the top of Bitcoin is likely in. And I do think over the coming months, what we'll see is once it does bottom out here around 60 to 50K, I think is the most likely scenario. We'll probably see a monthly bounce, a dead cat bounce, a relief rally, and then a lower high into the summer. And then 2027 will be a full-on bear year. In my opinion, it could even span multiple years. So you'll see the lower high, the form a lower high, and then a lower low right here, and that gives you your monthly downtrend, and probably Armageddon for a couple of years. All right, so I think I got all the Powell Group private community members. Can you check on Circle? Yes, that was the one we just had the algo alert just go off on, major sell signal. And there you go. It's new all-time low. I even warned about this one. After the IPO on this one, I said I would be very, very cautious when it hit like almost $300. I was like, this is not going to end well. And then, again, why on that first month, why would you try and guess how high it was going to go? It hit 300. It's going to go to 400. It's going to go to 500. And then it's going to pull back. Well, no, there was a clear pattern here as well. We had the monthly inside bar. Once we lose the low of the previous monthly candle, that's going to be bad because we had such a big move. The next time we see monthly consolidation, right? We have no support for 62%. So you could have went short there once we lost 171. That means monthly consolidation underway and no support for very long ways. 62%, you're probably going to see tons of downside. And here we are in the new all-time lows. It's literally what happened with coin. It IPO'd, started monthly consolidation, went into a new all-time low, and massive sell-off. Only thing is this one pulled back like as much as Amazon did, and the .com pulled back almost, 92%. Actually, Amazon pulled back more, 95%. And let's just do a quick thought experiment on Amazon here as well. Look at Amazon, and it pulled back how many times? Here, and pulled back 57%, there 65%, there 30%, 32, 29. Just in 2021, it pulled back almost 60%. Right? But most people coming into MJ stocks, they have no idea about any of this. They didn't know that Amazon, not even selling legal products, dropped 95%. 95%. And how long did it take for it to find a bottom? 31 months. So over 2 years, okay? And then how long did it take for it to hit a new all-time high? Folks, like what is that, a decade? Let me go to the month time frame, or the yearly time frame. So every candle is a year. How long did it take? It took over 10 years for Amazon to hit a new all-time high after that 95% correction. And they weren't selling drugs that are illegal in the US. So that should be all you need to know when you come into MJ. Before you hit the buy button ever, you should look at that and say, oh, I think this price is cheap. It's probably going to go even lower. Probably going to go correct like 99%. And that's exactly what happened. But yeah, Circle, not looking good. Just had the Powell algo alert go off. New all-time lows. Yeah, 50 psychological. Next would be around 25. But, I drew a weekly bear flag here too. I completely forgot about it. Yeah, that's textbook. You could have went short right here at 88. And that would have been a short opportunity of 56%. You take your measured move there from the high to the low. Gives you your measured move of $39. We just hit 50.73 as the low. So we could see another 21%-ish of downside. We also had a Powell alert just go off, bearish triple thunder. We lost the 10-week moving average and the MACD and the stochastic on the weekly cross bearish all simultaneously. So not looking good. No moving averages on the weekly time frame because there's not enough history. But as you can see, we're well below all our daily moving averages as well. So look out below Geronimo. We're probably going to be heading down to around 40 or so. Let's realize that all rhymed too. Didn't even mean to. Okay, let's go on here. So Vince, thanks for your hard work, Rod. My pleasure. I know you're a Pow Group private community member as well, so I really appreciate all the support over the years. All right, we'll jump in. I only have like a couple minutes here. Just give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to smash some water. All right. Sorry about that. Wow. Yeah. Spoke for almost an hour without any hydration. Yeah. Isn't that just crazy? Like, it's still so crazy to me that how accurate charting and technical analysis is. Like, before, when I first started learning it, right, after a year or so, I was like, oh, I know this technical analysis stuff. I didn't. It took me like 3 or 4 years before I finally knew what I was doing. And then, like, you know, it's been almost 10 years now that I've been learning this day and day. Like, folks, all I do all day, pretty much every day, is this. So, how many hours would that be? Right? I'm at 10 years. So 10 times 365 times what? I'll say like average 4 hours a day, and that's way over that. Folks, I'm at 14,000 hours just in technical analysis. So they say it takes around 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything. I'm probably double that. I'm getting close to probably 15 to 20,000 hours into just technical analysis and charting. Then I'm, another 5 to 10 years of learning stock market and mutual funds and RRSPs. I almost became a financial advisor. I used to work for Invesco. They're the ones who have QQQ, the trust, right? But I was learning financial markets for like 10 years before I even knew what technical analysis was. Now I've been learning, so that's like 20 years I've been learning, studying the finance world and the stock market, and almost became a financial advisor in 2012. But I realized it was stressful enough managing my own money, let alone other people's money. So I wanted to teach people how to manage their own money without being a financial advisor, if that makes sense. And then, like I said, for the last 10 years I've been studying technical analysis. But I mean, for someone to say that it doesn't work, right? They just don't know how to use it. Like, how could I be so accurate, like to the penny? Okay, let's bring up another one here. Sundial. Remember when I had the initial bear flag target on this one? Okay, I think I deleted it. Yeah, let me just remove these here. Was it the daily time frame? Because it was right around the lows. Oh, yeah, I think it was back here. Because, yeah, that was after the rescheduling. Like, this one was really pretty much to the penny. And I think it was here, this weekly bear flag. And this was right around the time where they said they were looking at maybe delisting and then going into the US. Yeah. Look at this thing. It hit pretty much to the T, and a little bit of a lower wick, but those real candle bodies are like right there at like 120, like pretty much. And then I think there was even another bear flag that formed on the lower level time frame. Was there another one? Yeah, I think there was one here too. So this might even been the one I was thinking of right here. So then there was another one. No, that one wasn't the one. It was the one before that, but you can, like I said, you can't even make this stuff up. Literally wicked below it, and then two candle bodies are right on that. And even if you just went long there at 122, 121, which was the target, it dropped to 115. Well, the play here, in my opinion, would be, okay, we know that we're at, $1.50, $1.70. We have a bear flag, and the target is 122. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient. And let's say I'm looking for a trade. I'm going to start scaling in somewhere around like maybe 130, because sometimes we undershoot, sometimes we overshoot. I'm going to start scaling in around 130, 140. Maybe if I got $1,000, maybe I buy, 300 here at 140, 300 at 130, 300 at 120. Okay. Then you could set your stop just below $1, psychological, or just however much wiggle room you want to give. And, let's say we had an average of 130. You added at 140, 130, 120, you got an average of 130-ish. Okay, it dropped another 11% from your average, but it then ran 121%, right? So as long as you're entering near the local bottom, that's the most important thing. And then you don't always have to go all in either. That's one thing that MJ investors know all too well is, why did I go all in? Why didn't I leave any dry powder? That's literally, if you forget MJ, if you just learn the stock market, just basic stocks, the first thing that you would learn is to not go in too quickly. And it can always go lower than you think, right? Just 5 seconds worth of research would tell you that. And to not go all in on one big lump sum, right? All right. Vince says, will you quickly look at KO Coca-Cola before you bounce? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so this one's all-time highs. So you're looking at shorts, right? You want to short it. First of all, you definitely don't want to be buying it, but I remember drawing this ascending triangle. So remember, XRP was a descending triangle, and it looks like this, right? Well, KO's an ascending triangle, which it looks like this, which means you just take your measured move there from the low to the high, the apex. Once you have that breakout, you move it out to your resistance line, and that gives you a measured move of $88. That we broke and confirmed it last month when we closed above that resistance line. So the resistance line at $73, 72, just under 73, so 72. Once we closed above that, that was the go signal. So you could have entered there at $74, and you'd now be up about 5%. But again, this one's just a very, you're collecting a dividend. It's not going to make you wealthy. It's just about, safer bet, right? But yeah, that one's targeting 88. New high this month is 78. So I'd be looking to short it, potentially getting closer to that $88 level. But again, just like on the downside, you don't have to go all short at 88. You can go a little short at 80, a little short at 90, a little short closer to 100, right? And then your average short position is around $90. If it drops to 70, great, right? That's the name of the game. So looking very, very strong though. Just hit all-time highs. Seems like a correction is coming. Yeah, so like I said, we could see from here that measured move. Again, sometimes we undershoot, sometimes we overshoot. So maybe we only get to 85, maybe we get to 90, 95, and then pull back. But as long as you're exiting or entering near there, that is the name of the game. But yeah, from current levels, we could still see probably like another 10 to 12% of upside, and then a pretty sizable correction. I'd say we'd probably come back down here to around that $72 mark. Old resistance becomes new support. Technical analysis 101. And what does that remind you of? XMR. What just happened? The same damn thing, only it was on the weekly time frame. That's what I did. Ascending triangle does not look like Coca-Cola, only on the weekly time frame. So same thing. I missed this move up, but I went short, and I didn't even hit the all-time. I didn't even hit the local top. It hit 799. I shorted at like 710. Right? I could have said, oh, I missed a short opportunity at 800. No, I was like, no, it's probably going from 700 back down here to around 4, which was old resistance acting as new support. Sure enough, came right back there and then kind of stalled out for a little bit. And then we had this news with the files being released and everything cratering. And therefore, this thing pulled back like 60%. But you're not going to see KO pull back 60% unless the world ends. But all right, I do have to get going. We'll run through the chat here real quick. This too shall pass. Rod, can you do C-Web or Cura? Unfortunately, I won't be able to right now, but yeah, I'd be expecting a little bit more downside. I wish I had more time. I've already gone over. I had about an hour here today, so we'll get you on the next one if we have time. Not fun at all, but this is where the money is made. Absolutely. Thoughts on HBAR? Yeah, I added HBR, the Canary ETF, spot ETF today. I think we hit Cosmic oversold as well in the PAL Algo alert, so massive buy signal. Great video. Could you do an overview of NIO, please and thank you. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Like I said, I can't right now. I wanted to get through the PAL Group private community members. It was supposed to be a PAL member-only video, and then I decided to make it public because of everything that was going on. So I went to those first, and then I did the YouTube members, and I'm already over an hour. So if anybody requests anything, I'll have to get you on the next one when I have a bit more time. 50 cent is the bottom. Are you talking about XRP? Yeah, I don't think we're going to get there, but anything's possible. Glad I liquidated all my crypto when XRP dipped under 3, and last Friday sold all stocks after the massive metals bust. Currently short Michael Saylor strategy and requiring some stocks now. That's awesome. Yeah, you're doing well by the sounds of it, my friend. XRP floor, yeah, I think somewhere around that $1.20 to $1 is very, very likely as a local bottom, and maybe we see a quick flush below $1, but I think it's very close. XRP cry face, yeah, 30 cents, yeah, I can't see it getting there. The mutiny is ending, and the captain takes his true place. BRKB, new chairperson, thoughts? I'm not familiar with that. I didn't know. I'm not familiar with that stock. What is it? BK or BRKB? Berkshire Hathaway. Oh, yeah. Duh. I just never really knew the ticker, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, this one's like Bitcoin, right? It's essentially just like priced everybody out of it. But now there's fractionalized shares, so you can buy like a little bit of it. You don't have to buy like one share, right? But yeah, one share, like $8,000, almost $9,000 US. Pretty ridiculous. That's why they created stock splits too, right? Because, people couldn't afford a $2,000 Amazon, but if it does a 20-for-1 stock split, well, they can afford $100, right? And then, but now there's fractionalized ownership. So, and then NYSE is building a new exchange that's running 24/7 instant settlement. So you'll be able to buy like 0.00001 share of Tesla if you want, or BK or BRKB. So, yeah, the new CEO, I think you meant. Yeah, I'd be running for the hills on this one too. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have time to dive into the technicals. It's a huge head and shoulders though. It's probably more apparent on the 2-week time frame. Yep. So we confirmed the head and shoulders. Just real quick. Roughly, you're looking at a move down to 7,000, just under 7,000. So, anyways, shouldn't even have gone that far. I don't want people to get mad at me saying I looked at that one, I didn't look at the others. But yeah, in terms of CWeb, this shall pass, and Secura, I'd be expecting a little bit more downside. And for all the other ones, like I said, HBAR I think is a great pick, and for all the other ones, we'll do like a proper public YouTube video where I have maybe a couple hours and I can sit down and dive into it more. Okay. All right. Going to end it there. Like I said, I got to run. I'm already over an hour, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I know it's brutal out there, but just keep your head up and understand that, if you're buying XRP, or if you're buying some of these assets, there was once a time not too long ago, like a year ago, where XRP was down. Like, if you think about it, Bitcoin, the last time Bitcoin was at 60,000, XRP was like around 40 cents. So the fact that XRP is at like $1.20, $1.30 when Bitcoin's at 60,000, I'd say we're doing all right. All right. Hope you have a great rest of your day. It's Rod. And thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, everybody. And we'll see you on the next one.